Good morning, YouTube. Um, it's Friday, 7:30 in the morning, like August 24th, and I'm sitting in my car. As you can see, I'm just sitting here. Um, I wanted to make a documentary, and it's not like a real fancy thing, but um, just pay attention to the audio instead of the visual. I'll let you know when to keen in on the visual, but right now it's just about the audio. I'm Melanie. I've made a lot of YouTube videos about my life and about the things I go through and my opinions about stuff. But this particular day, I woke up and I just had a really, really, really bad feeling. And I was thinking about a conversation that I had with a man yesterday. And I was telling him how I've been stranded in Chicago. Um, and I'm pretty much being held hostage in my car. And I told him I think it's because of my race, and more particularly my color, being a light-skinned person. And he was just like, well, he was like, people use too much of the race word. That's just prejudice, what you're going through. So I run you through what I have been through in Chicago. For the last 3 years, I've been hostage in my car. I don't live in Illinois. I'm from here, but I don't live here now. I live in Wisconsin. And that in itself really kind of alarmed me because the guy was like, "Well, you didn't know Wisconsin is one of the meetings places where they hold KKK meetings. It's one of the 5 states that's really really outlandish with bigotry and really overt racism." He was like, "The KKK have their headquarters there." And in 5 other states, and he went on to say how they're in Illinois, Idaho, Wisconsin, and a couple of the other southern states that he didn't want to go into. He says he's a educator and a teacher or something. But the thing that really stuck to me is when I told him my story, how I had been sitting in my car pissy, shitty for 3 years. The police wouldn't do anything about it. They literally don't care. And he was like not even surprised. I could show you the stickers, how they tagged my car, and pretty much over a period of time they pretty much got the car. Let me show you the stickers. This is the first one where I kind of got the adhesive is still there, and you can see the imprint of what the police officer did. Now, ever since then, that was in February or March, I've been losing control of my own car. Pretty much somebody's trying to steal it. This is the most recent one that I tried to take apart. And if you can see on the bottom where it says Evanston Police Department, they put a 7-day, these are both abandonment stickers, as you can see. They put a 7-day sticker on my car, even though they had been coming to my car almost on a nightly basis, claiming that tenants are calling saying it's a woman sleeping in her car. The issue wasn't why I'm in my car, what happened, how can I get out of this situation. It was, why am I on their block and when am I leaving? So they put the sticker on my car after I left, even though they told me to move the car within 24 hours. They still came back and defaced my car. Now this car has tinted windows. I don't know if you can see the difference. See how the windows are tinted? Well, you can see it from there. That in itself is vandalizing my property. But because they were the police, I didn't put up a fight or a fuss with them telling me to leave. I had the car towed away, you know. But that's my point. When I told this powerful black man what had been happening to me in Illinois, how I'm stranded and being held hostage in my car and being approached for sex and all this stuff by all these different races, mostly white men and white people, and then Mexicans. He was just like, oh, people use the race word too much, that's just prejudice. And he was like, black people are the most powerful blacks anywhere. And he started naming names of people who are powerful, and I'm just like, wow. It never occurred to me, that, but I know racism is real. And it sounded like what he was saying is that he's not surprised because he knows that even black people had a part in it. They had to. If it happened in Chicago, it wasn't just one race that did this to me and that's doing this to me. And for him to say that, bring up the fact that black people have a lot of power, more so than any other place, it's it reiterates how I feel that it's also not only racism but it's colorism. And so I was approached by a Mexican guy who wanted to try to buy me a drink and take me home with him. He just came up from out of nowhere, and he was like, "Do you have a job? Do you asking me all these questions about my social status?" And I'm just like, "Well, I like somebody else." I didn't find him attractive, but within 3 seconds, he had a hard on. I felt it offensive, humiliating, degrading, and embarrassing and creepy. But he was just begging me to go home with him, and that's the thing that you don't do. Never go home with situations and people like that, because for all I know, they may not classify what I'm going through as being trafficked or being modern day slavery and a hate crime toward a light skinned person. But I definitely think it is, because this is not my first time living here in front of this tree in my car. And then the bad thing about it is that the police, the residents call the police after they have had their way with me in many ways. It don't get physical, but they have their words, they have their gestures, their signs, their meanings, their expressions, and all of this towards me. And then when I'm beat up and beat down and scarred up and bit by spiders and, pissy and tired and burned and scorned and all of this stuff, they call the police and want me to leave after they have used me. And it's unreal. Even talking about it is surreal. It's like Evanston, Wilmette, Winnetka, all these different places in this area, they do not even care. In fact, if they not against it, they're for it. No civilized human being is going to allow somebody to be racially discriminated against in their community right up under their nose, and they don't do anything about it. So I just want the world to know how people treat light skinned black people. And the reason why a lot of backlash I hear about my existence is because of the way I make people feel like they don't feel pretty. But you know what I think is crap? Because if these were normal, upstanding people, suburban people, like the image that you're seeing, this would not be happening. These people are inhuman, and you better brace yourself, because the world is scary. The world is, I'm not going to even say the world is like this, because if you go to other places in the UK, you're not going to see a biracial or a multiracial person being subjected to racism just because they're light skinned. And for that black man to say blacks are the most powerful people in the world in Chicago, that it definitely makes me feel that it has something to do with my skin color, because he wasn't even moved. And I know that if I was a dark skinned black, he would have had all kind of solutions, like go to the NAACP, contact the Black Panthers, blah blah blah, sister this, sister that. In fact, I get the opposite. I was told that I'm What he tell me? A dark skinned guy that was associated with the Jewish tradition told me he was selling some kind of flyers and advertising flyers in front of the jewel, and I'm like, he could get arrested for that because I know that he's exploiting the whole idea of race. He told me it's because I am not one of them or something like that. And when I went in the store, this is all within the experience of me living in my car. Okay, he told me when I went in the store, they went through my bags. They wouldn't allow me to buy 2 salads. I could only buy 1 salad. And then once they was done going through my bag, something came up missing. It's a whole slew of things that's been happening to me. Um, from black people, from Mexicans. Another reason why the car is down is because while I was in Evanston, and you see how the police put me out of Evanston. See that? Evanston police. It's because I told them that, which somebody told me that a Mexican went under my hood, tampered with the car, and actually somebody did go under the hood and tamper with the car, because when I woke up, the hood was up, and there's no way that the hood would be up. I don't know how they got under the hood, but anyway, I went to try to get it fixed. A receptionist at this place called Fred's in Winnetka, she was like, "Oh, we're Christians. I'll help you. I don't care if it costs up to $500. I'll help you. Bring the car in, get it towed." So we went through this whole thing for like 2 days, planning on how and when and to tow my car to their shop so they could look at it and fix it. That she would give me a discount because, she would pay for it because her boss would give her a discount. Got the car there. They was like, "Oh, it's so much wrong with the car," and something about one of the belts and the oil and all this stuff. They had so many different stories. It was just like, you know that feeling you get when you go to a mechanic that don't like you or that just want to rob you. It was that feeling. Like, they told me 3 different stories. Part of it was the truth, which had to do with the timing belt, according to another mechanic. So they was like, it's going to be worth more than what the car is worth. So anyway, walked away. They was like, you got to get your car off this lot and this and that. And or you could just junk it, give us the title. Yeah, give us the title. And they kept demanding the title, and they wanted to junk the car. So literally, you get the point that I'm getting to, right? My car is being stolen or taken from me right up under my eyes, like literally. So they ended up with one of the keys to the car. They ended up with one of the keys, and they just messing with me. They stole one of the rims off. Whoever did it, I'm thinking that this guy told me that it was some Mexicans that did it. When I went to the shop, the Mexican mechanics was just looking all upside my head like I would never be good enough to have my car worked on in an area like that, even though, as you can see, it's physically nothing wrong with the car. So they stole one of the keys, and they said they didn't have the key. 2 weeks later, after I kept talking about it, they called me and was like, "Here's your key." But guess what? When I got to my car the other day, the trunk was open. So they've been in the car snooping around trying to see what they can steal. And the mechanic stole the key. And then whoever took the rim off, I think they did some witchcraft or something with that rim. They put the rim back a block away from the car. I know it was my rim because it was a Ford. And then when I didn't pick up the rim, it was all crumbled and stuff. Like I don't know what they did to it. Then they took the rim away. And then called the police and had me to leave from Evanston. But the tow people, my roadside people, roadside, they use the local auto shops. So the tow people was Smitty's, and they was like, "Why don't you just sell us your car for $200? Now, I bought this from a mechanic in Minnesota, this car, and he told me the car value still at $15,000. It's an older car, but still, it's just the fact that they didn't want to, I'm assuming the mechanics didn't want to mess with the timing belt because they just, they probably just want the car. They wanted the title. They wanted me to give them the title so they could junk the car for the parts because they mechanics. So they was just like, sell your car to us and this and this and that or whatever. And I'm like, for 200, they like for $200. And I'm like, now I get it. It's men, just basically strong arming a woman for her stuff. And then, I think the part where it really started, when I came here for a visit, I was getting, looks, not so much overt looks, but looks. And then